Hello, people. How's it going? It's finally been raining off and on for the last 2 days, finally. Thunderstorms, lightning, rain, hail, fire and brimstone, frogs, lice, locusts. Not the death of the firstborn yet, because I'm still alive. Anyway, how's it going? First of all, I am on Instagram now. I'm on Instagram mostly because I can post my pictures there. I was having problems posting my pictures on Facebook, and I'm kind of getting a little bored and tired of Facebook, but I'm finding Instagram a little easier to post my pictures, my photographs. I do like taking pictures. I took photography when I was in high school, my freshman year of high school. Valencia High School, California. See, anything interesting happened else other than that? Not really. But anyway, that was my freshman year of high school. But yeah, I took photography. I enjoyed it. It was a fun class. Developed the film, took some pictures. Well, way too hot. Anyway, but yeah, I'm on Instagram now, mostly to post my pictures. I've actually had to do it twice because I don't know what happened. For some reason, it made me a different account when I did anyway, because I'm not very good at technology. I really am not. Me and machines have a sort of a love-hate relationship, right up there with 2001: A Space Odyssey and Westworld, somewhere in the middle of that nonsense. But so I ended up having to have another account. Ow, itching my toes. Probably at this, but looking outside, it's cloudy. But anyway, but I'm slowly trying to trying to get some of the people I already had originally. A lot of the things I was on originally. I'm more or less am using Instagram more for my pictures than anything else. I don't expect anything else from that, but that's about it. Sounds focus. I don't know if it's out of focus or not. I cannot tell, Sam. I cannot tell. Anyway, but yeah, and yes, I'm going to do a lot of interrupting of my own self. Yes, sir. I'm the only one in here, and I'm the only one doing this. I'm not going to worry about it too much, whether it bothers people or not. Because I got my phone back. That's all that matters. I went out of phone for 2 weeks. Oh, no, somebody wants me to know if I have any more ideas for the story I'm writing at the moment. No, Natalie, not well, maybe a few, just about. But anyway, I've been working on my Tales from Noslin, Minnesota, one of my ghost/horror stories about a haunted lake. It's going faster than the last story I did, which the last story I did I couldn't stand doing because it was boring. Yes, I do write boring stuff sometimes, even by my standards. It's boring. But the Chapel Beneath the Waves, Tales from Noslin, Minnesota. Yeah. Anyway, is going faster than the other one, a little better than the other one. Trying to write decent horror. Writing horror is not as easy as you think it is, people. It's not. Or ghost stories. They got to have some level of logic, some level of consistency, and they got to not bore the audience. And I don't do slasher horror. I really don't try to do the slasher kind of horror stories. Those bore me. As I've said before, I like the psychology of horror. I like the psychology of any story. But this story is almost done. About 75% done. Well, that was fun. Thing stopped. It's about 75% done. I'm trying to kill off a character right now, and I'm just trying to figure out how to do that with somebody's help. But that's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind her help. Oh. She wants an answer to something. I'll have to wait. That's going well. I tried to do a little work on my murder mystery story for my next published story. I like murder mysteries. I don't claim to be very good at them. In fact, I don't claim to be good at them. But, sorry, I'm trying to multitask. I don't know how to answer the question. Anyway, um, I like that. This is actually a murder mystery story idea I had 20, 30 years ago when I was still living in Florida. But it's going slow only because I really have no freaking clue what I'm doing when it comes to a murder mystery. And I need to shave, man. Yes, I'm distracted today. That's okay. I really don't care if it bothers you. It doesn't bother me. You want on distraction? Talk to someone else. I don't. I'm a very easily distracted human being. Just put me in a bookstore and watch what happens. Put me outside. Wait, well, just have me wake up. But the murder mystery story is going slow because I don't really. I mean, I know who did it. I know how they're going to get there. It's just. I want it to make sense. I always overthink these things, and I think that's part of the problem. I think I'm just overthinking it. That's going slow. The Noslin story is going fine. I did some work on my Philemon commentary. More preliminary stuff, more just getting the idea of what it was like during the Roman Empire during the Apostle Paul's time. That was like somebody's home. I hope not. I prefer to do these videos when no one is home. This is probably one reason why I don't do as many as I'd like to, because people are usually home 90% of the time. Let's see. I am going to do my books. I am, because they're piling up. Not as bad as they usually are, but they are piling up. Make some room. But for the most part, we finally had rain, as I said. It finally rained and thunderstormed last night. I know. We're over it. So I have to wait. I'm in an antsy mood today. I'm not sure why. Who knows? Anyway. Well, the first book I got today, by the way, because I went to the half price bookstore. They want change, and I had $10 in change, so I took them some change. So I bought that book. See the author? Okay. Sheridan, The Life and Wars of General Phil Sheridan. Roy Morris. Interesting guy. That looks like the, it might be Gettysburg, I think. Maybe that can't be Gettysburg. He was in the West. I'm not sure what that picture is. Anyway. I haven't read it yet, so I have no idea if it's any good. But Phil Sheridan was a pretty interesting guy. Yeah, well. I bought that today. I bought a book on Russian short stories a while back. I like short stories. I'll buy any book on short stories I can. This was a Russian fellow. Under the Dogs. 10 years after its publication. Let's see. The Underdogs achieved worldwide renown as the greatest novel of the Mexican Revolution. It is the story of Demetrio Macias, a native peace-loving Indian who is forced to side with the rebels to save his family. In the course of battle, he becomes a compulsive militarist whose courage, almost despite himself, leads to a generalship in Villa's army. Pancho Villa. But as the cause suffers defeat after defeat, Macias loses prestige and moral purposes at the hands of turncoats and camp followers and peasants who had once loved him. Carlton Beale wrote of this novel. The scenes have the brutality of Gorky. Ozula is the Mexican Chekhov, only to have in so much as he's a doctor. That doesn't make any sense. Alzo is the Mexican Chekhov only in so much as he is a doctor. In all else, he is close to Corky. Well, make up your mind. Is he part Corky? Is he part Chekhov? I'll bring up Chekhov. You're going to tell him he's not like Chekhov. I worry about people. But anyway, I had this book a long time ago. I have yet to read it, but I like books that are so-called classics or by other authors I've never even heard of. But anyway. And there's Sherwin Anderson. We all heard of him. Another collection of short stories. Winesburg, Iowa. Ohio. Iowa. Yeah, right. But anyway. Book on the Civil War. I wonder if I should close the... Well, it's not sunny outside. I'm not sure why it's glaring. But anyway, another book on the Civil War. Looks good. Haven't read it yet. Book on King Arthur, who I do think existed. Sorry, people, I do. Or at least a person like him. And then legends were built around the man. But Arthur was an interesting... I like the movie, Arthur. Nothing more. I also liked... what's it called, Arthur? What was it called? The movie with... my brain is gone blank again. The movie with Keira Knightley. I am going a complete blank, which is, of course, I'll remember later, but that's okay. Not a big deal. And there's another Benton War book, Submarine Commander. Rear Admiral Ben Bryant was there. He knows what it takes to command a fighting submarine. Skill, immense courage, and uncanny ability to guess the enemy's next move. Now he explains all this to the technicalities involved in undersea warfare. He tells the inspiring story of the World War II submarine, a more efficient fighting unit when on the surface than when submerged, and so on and so forth. Oh, an English fellow. Oh, yes, Rear Admiral, yes, Rear Admiral, yes. Well, it should be interesting. I haven't read that one. Sterling's Raiders, another book on the World War II, Bantam War book. I like Bantam War books. They're hard to find. Battle of Guadalcanal, another good book. I haven't read this one yet, so I have no clue. But it is about the P-47 Thunderbolt, which the Germans hated. What a passion. Baba Black Sheep. Good show. Good TV show. A long time ago in a very different life. Very different world than the over-politicized one we have now. Let's see. Oh, yeah, with the old breed. But yeah, I like it. One of the very first World War II books I ever read was with the old breed. I try to find older books because I am quite convinced that the newer ones this day and age have been tampered with. I don't trust a lot of modern day historians. I'm sorry. They're too busy being political with everything. And politics is ruining and screwing up everything else. So I have a very hard time reading a lot of modern history books. I mean, there are some good ones, not many, but there are some. I'm checking something again because, as I said, I'm multitasking. When you multitask, you get interrupted by a lot. But let's see. But yeah, World War II is I like World War II. It's a fascinating subject. Come on. Thank you. Oh, yes. Somebody's mowing their lawn. My sister Anna was telling me about the picture I sent her. Of the bumblebee. Good grief. I know, I'm distracting, I'm sure. Anyway, back onto the books. This is, of course, an abridged version of the Institutes of Christian Religion by Mr. Calvin. I know a little about Calvin, not a whole lot. I'm not sure I would consider myself a Calvinist. Maybe. In fact, I don't consider myself much of a Christian anymore. I'm more of a Jew, and that's just the way I am, people. I'm sorry. until I can find another way to. I don't know. Look. I gave up on the church, not the Bible. Excuse me. The Bible is not my problem. The church is. Or the modern version, which is probably so far away from this. This is probably more truthful than the modern churches. But then I got another one of my 90-minute philosophy books on Kierkegaard. You know, when he says it's difficult to be a Christian in the church, I know exactly what he means. Exactly. I know exactly what he's talking about when he says it is far more difficult to be a Christian inside the church than it is anywhere else. And I know what he means. Because the church is no longer. I'm not going to go into a tirade, I promise. I'd like to, but not in this video anyway. Because we've already up to 16 minutes already. We're not even halfway done. Major trends in Jewish mysticism. I am fascinated by everything, including mysticism. Thought somebody was home. But I also have his book on the Kabbalah. But another interesting book. I hope y'all can see the titles. I know that probably the sun is not helping. But Kierkegaard, I know what he meant when he says it's harder to be a Christian in the church. Because the church literally is everything other than what the Bible teaches. I'm sorry, it is. I know I'm going on a tirade. But I know what he means. Try being a Christian. Try actually following through of what the Gospels and the Bible teaches and watch what happens. You will be told. You have no business doing that and this, that, and the other. You have no business expecting other people to be Christians or act like Christians. I've been told this, people. I've been told to my face, you have no right of Christian behavior from other people who claim to be Christians. I know what Kierkegaard meant. It's frightening what he meant. I knew what he meant. But anyway, I'm almost done tirading. I doubt it. John Muir, I know nothing about him. I got this book because it was $3, and I know who he is. I just never read anything about him. But I like conservationists. I like reading about people who try to protect nature from man's ability to destroy it. But I'm not going to bring up Kierkegaard. Not at the moment, anyway. I got this book because of Nero Wolfe. I know it's orchids. It's a Nero Wolfe thing. If you don't know what that is, of course, that's Rex Stout's famous detective who grew orchids. I thought it looked like a cool book, and it was also $3, so I got it for research purposes. And I got, I like him. I discovered him in the 80s when I was, studying World War II history and the Holocaust and Jewish history and so on and so forth. He's a good writer. He is a good writer. I will leave it at that. I don't agree with a lot of what he says, one, because he doesn't take the Bible as history as I do. But it's a good book. He's a good novelist. He writes good stories. I like Stephen King. People deal with it. He's partly influenced why I write the stories I write, but also I like his short stories more than I like his novels. I haven't read Pet Sematary, so I got it because it was there, and I'm crazy. And of course, a contradiction, Mr. Weissman. I couldn't believe the sun. There we go. Weissman Nee. I like Weissman Nee. I know there's a lot of people who have some problems with his theology and stuff, but I haven't found it. I haven't found this problem yet. I like him as a writer. I liked his biography when I read it. But Weissman Nee is a good author, good Christian author, at least in my mind, anyway. I just got this because it's Batman. That's Gotham, and I like the series, the Gotham TV series. I thought it was very good. I enjoyed it. I thought the guy who played the Penguin, or would be the Penguin eventually, was very good. I thought it was a very good show. I really did. But it could only go so far, considering the fact that, eventually you wouldn't be able to go the entire route. But it was good. I liked it. I liked that show. Philosophy of Nietzsche. Nietzsche, I agree with pretty much nothing Nietzsche says. He's once again one of those people where his life is more interesting than his work. Like my shirt, yes, that is La Miserable. I like my shirt. Yes, I'm distracting myself. Deal with it. Get over it. I hear one complaint, I'm gonna delete you. You don't like how I do my videos? Do your own. And you know who you are. Do your own video. But anyway, I find Nietzsche's life more interesting than what he taught. Now, I've read some of his stuff. He was at war with everything, and I think he was only happy when he was at war with everything. Yep. We're about to have a collapse here over here. I have it set up so nothing falls over. But anyway, Thomas Aquinas. I've tried to read Thomas Aquinas. For me, he's difficult. Maybe I read it at the wrong time. Who knows? But I find him interesting. What I do understand. I do have a book in here somewhere of his life. This is a book on his introduction to this stuff, Summa Theologica, and his Summa Contra Gentiles. But anyway, all right, now on to the next stuff. I like Ian Fleming, people. I do like these books of James Bond. I like these are the original. That's Live and Let Die, Dr. No, Casino Royale, the original. I like that movie. But yeah, when I was in Florida, I used to read these all the time. I liked them. They were fun. All right, let's see. Let's put Humpty Dumpty back together again here. I can get some of the stuff out of my way. I mean, I wish people would understand that I don't have a problem with this Bible. I don't mind reading books about Christianity. I don't mind reading books about Kabbalah. I don't mind reading anything. In fact, I'll read anything. Ask anybody who knows me. Yes, they'll read anything. He's crazy. My problem is with the church. I wish some people would understand that, but they don't. They just want to blame me and tell me I expect too much from people who claim to be followers of someone who told them to be there for each other, love one another, pray for one another. I would love to know the Bible these people are reading who tell me I don't have a right to some sort of... I have no right to expectations of their behavior. Except these are the exact same people that when their kids do something, they demand an expectation of behavior. You know why kids are leaving the church in droves? Adults. That's why. Because the kids recognize hypocrisy when they see it. And they do. They recognize that my parents don't actually believe what they're telling me. They're telling me one thing while they're doing something else. I mean, I'm in a tirade again. I try very hard not to get into these tirades, but I keep getting into them, and I'm already at 23 minutes. It's longer than I intended, but that's okay. I don't care. I've gotten to the point, people, where I just don't care. You like my videos, you don't. You do. If you don't like them, do your own. The other book I got, Joe DiMaggio. Not my favorite Yankee, but I have read this book a long time ago. Joe DiMaggio, A Hero's Life. Another book on the Transcontinental Railroad building. The Iron Horses, America's Race to Bring the Railroads to the West. He's the same author who did a book on the War of 1812, French and Indian War, the book on the admirals during the Second World War, which is a very good book, by the way. The Art of Mathematics, because it's math, and despite popular opinion, I don't hate math. I just don't have a brain for it. I just, something about math baffles me. Even though I try to do some math self-teaching, I'm not good at it. I'm really not. I don't know whether I just don't get it. I don't have the patience or something. It makes no sense to me. It should. I like it. I like the history of math. I like trying to teach myself math stuff. But, I really wish that when I was in high school and something, Certain individuals had put me in math classes and not special reading classes I didn't need to be in. That was one of the bigger problems. Anyway, this book only because it says, I got it because it says, good grief. I don't know what it is. I am wound up today. I have no idea why I'm so wound up today. But I do seem to be wound up today, and I just am. Who knows? Days of Rondo, because it is history, Black history in Minnesota, so it's Minnesota history, so I bought that. I'm assuming that you can all see the cover despite the glare from the sun. And there's the Battle of Vicksburg, Grant's campaign that broke the Confederacy. The Vicksburg campaign. Any book on the Civil War I generally like. They're not all great, but most of them are pretty good. History of Mexico City, Mexican history. Another interesting subject. Never dull. Ow. All right, this book is a compilation of the actual four Gospels and all the other Gnostic Gospels. This book was written. Okay, this book uses a Bible that they wrote. Okay, people who wrote this book wrote their own version of the Bible, and then wrote this so they can point out all the errors, flaws, mistakes, and everything else in the version they wrote. Now, you're understanding this, people? They wrote a version on purpose with mistakes in it so they could write this book and tell you there's something wrong with the Bible. Okay? This is why I don't believe, this is why I don't listen to footnotes, and this is why I don't care about footnotes. Footnotes are written by people who don't want to believe in the Bible in the first place, who don't care. They would rather read translations that contradict the Bible, which is what these people did. They wrote a gospel. It's called I looked it up. Let's see. The English. The Anointed Scholars Version. Okay, they wrote their own version so they could write a book telling you how they all don't make any sense, including the ones that are in the Bible. They created a problem so they could discuss it as if somehow they have discovered a problem. I want you to realize that. This is why I don't buy footnotes. This is why I don't listen to these people who act as if somehow they're smarter than the rest of us when they're not. It's not smarter. They just don't want to believe this, or they believe this, I should say. What they don't believe is this. They don't want to. It's an interesting book. Don't get me wrong. It is very interesting because it's amazing what people will do to make themselves right. They will create their own gospel to write another book telling you what's wrong with the one they just got done writing. I want you to think about that. And then I want you all to explain to me why it is why I should not have a problem with what's happening to the church. Because this is partly what is happening to the church. This is basically a book on footnotes telling you why the Bible was wrong after we just got done writing a version of the Bible proving our point. In other words, you wrote something that had mistakes so you could complain about it. That's why I did that. I am wired today, aren't I? I am rather... I don't know what it is. I seem to be... It can't be the full moon. And I haven't started howling at the moon yet. Good grief, we're almost at 30 minutes already. But anyway, we're at our last book, so. But yes. Hans Christian Andersen. Now, I have his short stories over there, or his fairy tales, but I know nothing about Hans Christian Andersen. This is one of those authors I know nothing about. But it's a big book, so it should be good. Hopefully it'll be good. But The Life of an Auto Storyteller. So hopefully you can see it. But anyway. But yes. I mean, I'm trying not to launch into a tirade. Or at least into frustrating comments on things I just know are going to irritate me to no end. Because there's a reason why I have a problem with the church people. It has nothing to do with the Bible. Well, it does, but it doesn't. My problem with the church is that it takes books like the one I just showed you, the four Gospels, and says, see, there are mistakes. See, they're correcting them. Yeah, they put the mistakes in their version so they could write a book telling you that there were mistakes. I want you to realize you're believing a bunch of people who put the mistakes there in the first place, so they could tell you, see, there are mistakes, and they're hoping you're not going to think about this too long, and you're not, because that would require the Christian world to actually do apologetics and actually think. And yes, I don't think the Christian world thinks. I think a lot of them just react or just accept it. Apologetics, the Bible is being destroyed, and not by the world. The world's just sitting back watching, laughing hysterically. Like, look what they're doing. They're destroying their own book. We don't have to do anything. They're doing it for us. And I'm launching into a tirade again. Okay, I'm going to end this because we're already at 31 minutes, and I really don't like making them this long, but I had a lot on my mind. So anyway, have a good day, people. Behave yourselves, because I am not capable of doing so, and nor do I wish to. See you later. Have a good day. Have a wonderful day.